Hello, greetings to you once more. It's your guy, Mr. Time from Time Engineer Academy. So, welcome back to part 8 of our tutorial. So, as I said, we are going to be modeling and designing this on a shopping center from start to finish. And as I said, if you're looking forward to learn Revit to do this, and then using AutoCAD, Revit, 3ds Max, and Corona and PROTASTRUCTURE to do the structural analysis, why don't you stick to this channel and then share my contents, like and comment. Just be around the community where we can be able to have this knowledge together, right? And have a very lovely community to work with. So join my WhatsApp group. The link will be in the description of this video. Join the group so that we can have opportunity to share one or two together. Okay, so that out of the way, let's just dive straight into our tutorial, right? So so last time we started with Revit. We set our different levels. Like we started by setting our levels, and I showed you how you can achieve that. If you have not been able to watch that video, just go back there and watch that video again. You understand how we got to this point where we set our basement, natural ground level, and ground floor, right? So again, to add to that, if you notice from the previous video, when we imported our drawing, we did not have the shear wall position, right? The shear wall was not highlighted on our drawing, and that is because in AutoCAD we use it as wall, so most of it was designed as wall, right? So when you have walls, Revit will not be able to interpret the polygon, right? It will not be able to interpret what you're trying to achieve there. So always convert it to line work. Like if you have had wall, just select on the walls and then you explode them. So you go back to home and then you click on this explode. So you're going to explode it twice, just explode again. You notice that there are now lines. It's no longer wall, right? So if that is it, so just go back and check your work and change it, right? And then before you re-import it into Revit, and you're just good to go. So back in Revit now, we had our drawing actually existing here. So this is where we ended. We imported the drawing, and then we're about to position it on the different levels, right? The levels that we designed them for. So this is our basement here, and this is the ground floor, right? So I'm going to be placing them at the different levels that we have defined. So I'm going to this one, I already positioned this one, but there's something very important that I want to show you, and that is probably you're working and you mistakenly delete one of these your elevation marker here, right? There's no elevation marker here, and if you look at the project browser where we have elevation, you notice that there are only three elevation boxes here, or three elevation marker here. So you don't have it in place, and that is because you deleted it, right? So if you want to place it, go to view. That you go to architecture here, you're on view. Just click on elevation here. Let me save my project anyway. So it's always a good habit to save. So I've clicked on my elevation and I'm just allowed to place it. But there are other circle mark here that probably you want to go. Want to go with the smallest one, that is 10 millimeter. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. But if you look at it now, it's actually here, elevation 1.a, but it's facing another direction. Look at the arrowhead, it's facing towards the right direction. It's like this one too. So we want to change it to look like in front, to this, to make it to be facing this way, right? So how do you do it? You have to select on that one. You see this checkbox here is because it's pointing to the direction where you want that elevation marker to be showing, right? So uncheck it. Just say okay, you don't want it to look that way, and then you check to the direction. You see this other box here. I think this question mark is blocking it. So just checked it, and then you see it's pointing to that direction now. So that is the front. I can just right click, select this one, then right click and rename it, and that is it. So I'm going to rename it front elevation, right? So that is it, and we are good to go. So you can just select it and move it a little bit backward like this, so have more room. So you can always select and move them. If you don't have enough space, select everything like that, and then you can move. You can always display them, right? So if that's something that probably you faced before, that is the best solution to get around it. So we are going to work on elevation where we are getting there probably in the future, right? So I already click on all the different tabs. Probably you don't have this already. You have just one of the levels that you have set. So let me show you how to get them at the tab here. It probably might be different from other version of Revit, right? So to get it at the tab here, this is Revit 2023 anyway. So to get it up here, you just have to go to your floor plan level. You like natural ground floor, just double click, double click, double click, double click, double click, and you have it there. So before now, I've already copied my floor plans at different level, right? So I already have my floor plans at the natural ground level. Probably this is not what you want to have here, right? But how do you achieve this? Let me go and delete all of them so that you see how I did copy my work and got myself to that position, right? So let me use this here to be able to trace what is happening. So this crop view here, when it's checked like this, you always have to click on it to check. So when you have this full view, it means that the crop boundary is not highlighted. So always check it, because if I come now to the crop, look at where the crop region is. This is the crop region. So it only shows the things that are within this circle, right? Within this circle. So always uncheck this one to have an infinite circle. When we are printing to sheet, that we can be cropping a particular view so that the drawing can fit well on our drawing board, right? So uncheck that one. So now we are not seeing the drawing at ground floor here. So what is going on? So let's uncheck this again. We have the drawings on the first floor. So I'm still going to go ahead and delete all of this. I already copied that. So I'm going to delete that right away. Let me check on this other floor. We have it here too. So I'm going to delete this again. And then this other floor, do we have it? So do we have it here? Okay, so let's see. We don't have it there, right? So on the fourth floor we have it there, so I'm going to go ahead again and delete it. On the last floor we don't have it. Do we have it there? We don't have it at the ceiling level. So let me go back to my basement. I want to copy this one to my ground floor and my first floor and second floor, right? Since the ground floor is the same with the first floor, I'm just going to copy it on the ground floor. The second floor is different, so we have the second floor here. So I'm going to copy that one and then copy the fourth floor, right? So let me just select everything, then copy to clipboard, right? So you press Ctrl C to copy to clipboard, or you click on this arrow here, this tab here, just click on it like that, and then you have copied already to clipboard. You go and align, click on paste, and then you align it to selected level, right? So I want to align it at the different level that we have. I want to align it at the ground floor. Probably I just have it on the first floor anyway, no problem. And the second floor, we'll have it on the third floor and the fourth floor. That is it. So just click. Okay, so it's copying right now. Let's just wait for this process to finish before we can then go to the different floor levels and then we find it. So here we cannot even see it, probably is because our crop view is checked on, right? So we have to close it. You have to open it. So when you click on it like this, it's actually open now. You can see every other thing. But I want to copy this one and paste it directly on the one that we have at the basement. So I want to underlay the basement. So it's in other software they call view region, right? Like you want to view the part that is underneath, like in AUTOCAD you view the underneath part. So I'm going to go here or trace the underneath part of the building. So I'm going to go to my property here. You see here, you see underlay, right? You see range base level, right? I want to view to the basement level. So you see the basement is here gray. And then something to always check here is that you see it's showing that look down. Okay, be very careful here to know what you're going for, right? So I'm going to always, by default it's always look down, so you're making it to look down to that other level. So I'm going to copy this our first floor. So I'm selecting all of this, then I copy from a particular point, probably this position of the column, or I copy from my share wall. So it's always a good practice to copy from the position of the staircase, right? Because it's identical. So let me copy from here, or you look for a particular identical point on your structure and then you copy from there, and that is it. So I just stacked it on this other view here. So the lines are actually the same from the basement, so everything is just the same. So I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to finish now and then delete the other part, right? So I'm going to be deleting this reflection that I'm getting here from the basement, right? Because if I go back and remove our underlay again and put it at none, we'll not be seeing this one. So this one is gone. So on my first floor, the objective of the first floor is just to have is still to have the ground floor on the first floor, right? So I'm going to go on my first floor again, and then I underlay the other this ground floor there, right? We want to underlay the ground floor on that first floor. So I'm going to go here to underlay again and then put on my let me even say just ground floor. Copy this, since it's just the same, I'm going to copy from this point now. Oh, let me copy from my common known point here, which is this one, and then put it again here. So I'm just staggering that there, so it's still very fine. We're going to go now to, let's delete these other ones that we don't need it. And now at this level, right, we don't need it. I'm going to go to second floor, and then I remove this one. I don't even need the first and the ground floor on that level. I have to copy just this one and paste on top of this one. So our underlay is even on automatically. So I'm going to copy again from this known position here and stack it on this other one, right? So let me put it here, and that is it. Okay, so you can see the position of the beams that will be downstairs, and probably the wall position there. You see our cantilever here, and then you see that the cantilever at the first floor now is 2 meters. So you see there's a difference here, right? You have it on both sides, so you also be able to notice if you had error or that is something that you were looking forward to achieve. So we're going to go our third floor, which is the restaurant. So I'm going to delete this other two again at this level, right? I'm going to delete this two, go to my third floor, right? So this is my third floor. I'm seeing the third floor showing but the basement level, right? So let's see what is happening here. Why is it that it's showing but the basement level? This is the third floor. It's showing but the second floor instead. That is not what I want, right? That is not what I'm looking forward to get here. So again, that one on. Let's go to the fourth floor and see. So this is it at this level. So I think the third floor is the same as this. Okay, this is the third floor here. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to delete this two at this level. So this one copy at the fourth floor where we have to have the swimming pool instead. So I'm going to copy this level down to the fourth one. So I'm bringing it here. Let me underlay probably the second floor. I'm going here to underlay probably even the basement. I don't have any issue with that. So I'm going to copy the swimming pool section here, which is this one, and then tag it on the, where is it? So this is it. I'm going to put it here. Okay, so fourth floor done. But what happened to the third floor, which we are looking forward to get? So I'm having this on my third floor. This is not what I'm looking forward to get here. So what happened here is I think if you go back to the second floor, we still have our second floor in place, and then why third floor we can't trace what we brought in. So let me see, uncheck that, and then nothing. It's like we did not copy to the third floor, right? So let me just go back and copy this third floor, which is the kitchen. I'll copy to clipboard again, paste at the third floor, right? I'm just going to paste at the third floor, and that is it. And then probably I'm going to close it here. I'm going to delete this one here, and then go down to my third floor again. Okay, this is it here. This is it here. So I'm going to underlay the ground floor or any of the levels so that I can copy and paste directly on top of it. So I'm going to copy this one again, moving it from this position again. So my common point, moving it to this position here, right? So that is it. I've copied everything. I'm just going to go ahead and be deleting what I don't want again. So here I don't need any other level on the first floor. I don't need that on the ground floor. Let's see, we have to delete all of this, right? Delete this ground floor. Do we even need something on the natural ground level? So when we don't need that, so I'm going to delete all of this too, right? I'm going to delete all of this so that when I go to the different level, I'll not be seeing them showing up there. So this is delete, delete, nothing there is tracing again. So that is it, we are good to go. So let's start our at the basement, right? So this is the basement, and this line shows the position of our walls, right? So we are going to dive straight into modeling the walls right now. So at the wall level here, what do we need? Go to architecture, and you click down on this arrow. You see architectural walls, structural walls, wall by face. So all of this review, wall sweep, and things like that. We'll get to use them. These two are not active now because you have not placed a particular wall type yet, right? So if I place this, I can get, when I click back on this, I select this wall, right? And I click here, I can actually get a review for that wall. Sorry, why is it wall sweep not coming on? Probably have to be in 3D. So we'll get to use it and also model our own different sweep and things like that. Sweep are just probably like grooving, like those lines that you see on the face of the wall, right? Some lines that you see like they're bubbling, they are going inside. Those are wall sweep. You can also use the wall sweep to probably form a concrete fascia or something. You can have just designs on the wall. Those are the things that you can do with it. So I'm going to go ahead and set a particular wall type that I want for my basement, right? So at the basement floor, when you click on the walls, you click down here, you have different walls types that you can go with, right? And you have curtain wall, exterior. So I've messed up with my own because this is my template already. So you're going to have just the curtain wall, exterior, and storefront, right? Probably not having this railing because I did model something already. I save it under my template. That is why I'm having this one here. So I'm going to go and choose a particular type, and already with my template I have some defined wall type already. I have like this one. I have this one that I've worked with before, right? So this is wall 150, and that is mostly of the 150 millimeter walls that we have. So let's select this one. You can select anyone, then you go to edit type. So you are going to be working on this property here a lot because this is where you do most of the settings anyway. So when you look at it here, when it opens right now, you see type property, right? The type property here, I can be able to edit something like the structure. Under the structure here, you see edit, right? You click on that edit. You can edit the material. You can edit the function of the wall. You see where is it function? Is it a thermal wall? Is it a finish face? Is it a membrane layer? Something like you want to do. But we are doing with the structural wall, the structural wall right now. You can change the material that you want, right? Like when you select on this box here, use this little box by the side, you open another dialog box where you can define your materials. Okay, so to define a particular material for that one, we're getting to that one right away. So this is where you change the thickness. Let's say the basement wall is 250, right? But you have to be very careful at this stage, right? You don't have to even edit something that you have not duplicated. Like whatever you change on that particular wall, like editing the structure, is going to change the that family for you. That family is going to be updated, right? The wall thickness will not longer be 150. So it means that you always get to be changing them. So the very good practice, if you have a very a particular startup, like basic wall, for instance, or an object that you want to put in your in your model, and you don't want to affect the mother object, right? Always go to this edit type, and then you duplicate, right? Click on duplicate. You give it a name. Let's say wall 250, and then we call it basement. We just put B there. So 250 basement, that is it. That is what I want to go with, right? I'll just click OK in this case, and then I go to my structure here, click on this edit. I want to change this one to 250, right? So change the thickness to 250, and then I want to change the material. So click on that arrow, right click, and then you say duplicate asset. If you don't want to go down that road, you can always add another material. So you click and add new material. So let me start with a predefined material that I already have, or I can just click here and say create new material. So this is a new material that comes on right now. You always have to rename it. So I'm going to call it basement wall or BS wall, right? So this is it, and here you first of all have this identity, right? So this is not really important. Probably want to put a description to that wall when you're probably doing your detailing. This is where you probably can key in those information, right? But here under graphics, I have to check only use render appearance, so that when it comes in, I'm going to have the same color that I choose, right? So always check this box here, use render appearance, and then I go to appearance. Now here I can choose the different color that I want, but we are not working with color at this point, right? We are not going to be using color here. So but if that's something that you want to get to use a particular color, you can always change it here. So you see this is changing to green right now, but want to select actual material, so you go to this replace this asset, right? You want to go to this here, you click on it, and then here you have the different material that Revit comes with. So I'm going to go to appearance library, and then go down to, I like using wall paint, right? So these are the different paints that you want. Let's say on the basement wall we want something very dark, right? We want a dark material there, maybe it's coated already, so I'm going to select this black. So to replace that one, you click on this arrow here, you see, replace this current asset. So I'm just going to click here, and then I can close this one. If you notice here, the icon has changed. Even here you see it's changed to black now. So if you did not use this render appearance, you will not be getting the same color when you apply. Let's just do that and see anyway, so that you can understand it. So I'm going to go to apply and then take OK, and then again I'm going to just go OK here and then apply and OK. So that is it. So I have my wall now, I'm ready to draw just like in AutoCAD, but there are some settings here that you have to do. Okay, I want my wall base to start at the base constraint to start at the basement, right? And the top constraint should end at the ground floor, not at the natural ground level. I want it to end at the ground floor. So I'm going to click the top constraint there. So you see the total of that height now is 3.7. So if you end this wall at the natural ground level, you see it's 2.6. We wanted it to end at this level, right? Okay, so I'm going to just to go ahead and then click, and then there are some basic things here. You click like chain, so it's going to be giving you a chain as you're drawing, right? You can just draw, and then you draw, you draw, you draw. So to save time and not to have very long tutorial at the end of the day, I'm not going to be showing you how I put all of the different things together, right? You're going to just see the application, and then in the next video I've gone ahead and model my other walls, and I expect you to do the same. So like in this case, all my external walls are already modeled for the basement, and if I look at it in 3D, just clicking on this icon here, 3D, this is the wall, right? So look at this wall now, it's actually black. Let's go here, let's select on this wall, click on this, and then go to our property tree here, basement wall. You see the line here is now, the name here is different, but use render appearance. It's actually just a dark wall because the color here is dark, right? If I did use this color and then I apply, you see the color now is different, right? But I want to use actually the color that comes with, I think this, the reason here is because, so when I use this one, you see the color change to black. It's because the current color here is always black anyway, or gray color. So let me change and choose another particular uh material. Let's see how it really works, right? So I'm going to use this one for instance, and then I apply this, and I take let's go to graphics again, use render appearance. I uncheck that one. Okay, it has already picked the color anyway, so it picked the color for that particular design. I think that is the reason. So I'm just going to go back and get my black wall there, and then on render appearance check, and that is fine. So just apply, okay, and then apply and okay. So that is it. So if you look at this now in one of the elevation, you see that it's going up to the, so let me go to the front elevation or the left. So if you look at the wall position there, where is it? So when we go to our front elevation, we cannot be able to see this wall, and I think the reason why we were not seeing the wall at the beginning is because when you go to this front elevation, look at where the the actual view is. So it's everything that is included in this highlighted region here is going to be selected, right? So I'm just going to go to this arrow and then include this my building in the view. So when I go to front elevation, I should be able to see the wall right now. So this is our wall, and if you look at it, it's stopping at the ground floor, right? So from basement level to the ground floor, so that is where the wall is actually stopping. So you see the wall here, you see it's selected at the right side there. Okay, so that is how you model your walls, and then you add your walls, you copy your grids and things like that. So let's go to stay at the basement level, right? So you're actually going to just be doing the same to the other view, right? So select on that there, and if you don't have this appearing like this, you just go down to where you see clip, uh far clipping, right? You want to choose either of something here, and it just works the same, right? So this is just going to show you a line that you can actually click on it. Just click, hold down and drag, and then you extend your view. Probably the line might come like this, and when you look at it in that elevation, let's say this is left elevation, you will not see the complete part of the building, right? You will not see the complete building. So if I go back to this and then select on this again and then just select it, drag up there, I'm going to see all the part of the building now. So you see where the building is extending to, right? So this is our crop region. Again, we are going to come back there in the future and see what we can achieve. Okay, so you can always drag these things and reduce your view, your crop view. So that is it with this tutorial today. I think I'll just probably just rush into showing you how to model this other wall. So it's just the same thing anyway. So I'm going to select this wall probably, or I go to wall. You see it's wall 250 that is selected. I click down on this arrow. I want to use 150 for my partitioning, right? As I said again, you can also check that, do the changing here, right? You want to check where the top constraint is, but it's always advisable to, anyway, whatever works for you, you can use it, right? So I'm going to go here. It's at the basement, and the top level should be at the ground floor, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and model the other walls, and that is it. And in the other video, I'm just going to be going really straight forward to adding doors and windows. And look at this is a mistake that I did, and I want to drag this wall to feature at the center there, right? So I'm going to go here and probably drag from this center point. You see that it's reaching the end point, so I can just drag and drop here. Or if I don't want to go down that route, I can come to my align. I want to align this to the center of this. So you see that's how you can go about it. Again, I'm drawing here using wall center line, right? If I just click on this wall, I use create similar, or you type CS on your keyboard. Let's create similar. Look at the setting here. The location line of the wall is at the wall center line. You can have core center line. So this our wall does not have small core, right? You don't have like the finish face, this one. So we're going to use wall center line because we actually model our grid line, but you can also use wall finish. So you see that is on the face of that line. So you can always press your space bar to flip. So it actually works almost the same like in AutoCAD, right? So it works the same like that. So I like using my wall center line. I didn't define that already in the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and add this one here. Probably take this one this way completely. So take this one to this position. Then we're going to take this again here. So actually it seems like anyway, it's still the same thing anyway. So I'm going to take this here and drop here because we are going to be having opening here to close this section. So I'm going to take this again to this position here, and then I take this one from here, center line, take this here and dropped here. Probably I use this one and I want to click this way, right? I can also select on this wall and use this little ball here and just drag it. Just click, hold down and drag to the position where you want it. So that is it. Let me just model my shaft wall to the shaft here. So I'm going to use this 250, right? So just click on one of the wall, click create similar, and I want it to start from the basement now and end at the ceiling level. I just want all of it to go, the shaft to go at once, right? So I'm just going to draw this one right now, draw this, and add my shaft position there. So have this one here, so that I don't get to always model this at a different level, right? So when I go to my 3D here, so see my, this is the shaft wall going, and this is the other wall 150 that we use to partition the interior part of the building, right? So that is it. To rotate again, I said from the first video, you hold down shift and then your middle mouse button, you can always turn around to see what you've put in place. Okay, so I'm going to end this tutorial here. Hopefully we can get another one today or tomorrow in the morning as time permit us. Okay, so do have a wonderful day and stay blessed.